I just want to throw this out there, but the Shogun episode been getting me hyped for this game, and if it been getting you hyped too, you already know. You already know. Rise of the Ronin drops tomorrow, but right now we're gonna check out this Rise of the Ronin IGN review. Let's get right into it, and my mind's already made. I'm ready to get in this game, regardless of this review. But let's check it out.
Rise of the Ronin confounds me. On one hand, it's an action game with combat that's a cut above most of its peers. It takes place in an interesting historical fiction world with cool characters. It has entertaining co-op. Little flourishes.
We didn't even get to see co-op a little bit. Dang it, we got to see it right there.
A lot of fun. On the other hand, it's heavily weighed down by the forces of the all game. Bloat, the stereotypical Ubisoft map with tons of icons to clear, and an outrageous amount of loot, loaded with meaningless incremental stat upgrades. If developer Team Ninja had used its razor-sharp katanas to cut the weaker bits that only dilute its strength, Rise of the Ronin might have become more than the sum of its parts, rather than less.
Maybe they just want to give variety. How about that? Right?
Rise of the Ronin is set in mid-19th century Japan, just after Japan is forcefully reopened to the world. Your Blade twins are kind of blank slates, letting you customize the pair in a robust character creator, and then sending you on a mission to sneak aboard the black ships from America and assassinate Commodore Matthew Perry. It's a compelling opening that quickly establishes the kind of game Rise of the Ronin is, and doesn't waste your time getting you right into the action. The story gets much grander than that, of course. You'll meet historical figures, join a pro or anti-shogunate faction, and make tough decisions during one of the most interesting eras of Japanese history, though your choices can...
There ain't no tough decision. It's dead. With the head, you know what I mean?
Only rewrite history so much.
No tough decisions around here.
Could you kindly stop him bothering me?
If you have a fondness for the period, it's fun to pal around with the fictional versions of Genzui Kusaka and Sakamoto Ryoma.
We could just climb it, then go swoosh right in. How does one swoosh exactly?
That said, Ronin's story is the video game equivalent of a fun popcorn movie. Enjoyable while you're watching it, but easily forgotten the moment the lights come back on several dozen later.
I had hoped to see you. You'd finally come back to propose. Haven't you?
Actual missions are a bit more memorable. They're either encounters you enter and complete seamlessly on the world map,
Who the hell are you?
or as standalone missions a la Ninja Gaiden or Neo, where your protagonist and a pair of followers who you can switch to.
Give me a sec. Let me try to crank up these Oh, it's already cranked the fuck up. Hold up.
Take on a unique objective like breaking a friend out of prison or assassinating a government official. The latter allows for either single player with AI teammates or co-op with two friends joining up as your allies. I much preferred these to the more standard and mostly unremarkable open world tasks.
I'm short of wood. Could you gather some for me?
And being able to play them with friends is a fantastic addition. My main complaint here is that I wish the two modes weren't so intertwined. It's a bummer to be playing with a friend and do a one-off mission, only to then have to do a couple more by yourself before you can play together again. Rise of the Ronin is at its best when you're clashing its many swords. Sure, you can wield a katana like a traditional samurai, but you can also use the quick and flashy paired swords, the massive high-damage odachi, a western saber, and a lot more. I like almost all of them, but my go-to quickly became the double whammy of the oxtail sword and the greatsword, which allowed me to live out my Michelle Yeoh and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Siegfried from Soul Calibur fantasies simultaneously. Each weapon
low-key.
several fighting styles.
Low-key, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Low-key fire. And you know what? I played the video game back in the day. For some reason, I played a lot of movie game adaptations. Not all of them were great, but you know, I have played a bunch.
All with their own special techniques. Styles follow a kind of rock, paper, scissors balancing structure, with a couple of exceptions. So picking the right option to beat whatever your opponent is doing will help you out considerably. The downside of this system is that some weapons benefit from it more than others. The katana has 8 combat styles to choose from, including one that's based off of Ryu Hayabusa's moveset in Ninja Gaiden, Izuna Drop and all. But
Copy
paired
paste
swords
Ninja Gaiden?
below
Oh,
the
yeah.
Oxtail sword only have 3 or 4, though what's there is excellent. The quickest way to take someone down is to choose a combat style that beats theirs and wear down their ki until they're staggered and land a critical hit that deals tons of damage. Throw in secondary weapons like bows, guns, smoke bombs, and even a flamethrower, and Rise of the Ronin gives you a lot of freedom in combat. It also manages to look and feel good while doing it, especially if you dismember your opponent with a critical hit as a grand finale.
You gotta love
Enemies
finishers.
are aggressive and deadly. Even a regular run-of-the-mill dude can send you packing. If they
Damn.
do, you respawn at the last bonfire. I mean, Sight of Grace. I mean, Veiled Edge banner you interacted with.
Bro, ain't no
Minus
way.
the karma you
That's
gain
funny
from
as hell.
defeating enemies, with a vendetta against the enemy that killed you. If you slay him, or even land a critical hit, you'll get your karma back, creating a high-stakes duel against a worthy opponent. It's a nice change of pace from the traditional Souls-like system where you just pick things up off the ground. Without spoiling anything, yes, the boss fights are fantastic and difficult in true Team Ninja style. They
Oh,
move
yeah.
fast, force you to
I
learn
love
your
me good
attacks, and
boss
reward you
fights.
for using advanced mechanics. You can just dodge and punish as you would in most Souls-like boss fights, but
Ooh, that's
you'll be
clean.
missing out.
Ooh, that boss looks kind of badass. Ooh.
The real trick to dispatching foes is Counterspark, which works as an attack that also deflects your opponent's attacks, staggers them, and opens them up for counterattacks. The more advantageous your style is against theirs, the longer you can open an enemy up for punishment. Countersparking is risky because the window to deflect an attack feels relatively small, and you're wide open if you miss, but the potential reward is huge. Add in a grappling rope and abilities like Violent Gale or Blade Flash, which allow you to change the style mid-combo, and clean the blood off your blade after an attack to restore ki, respectively. Plus some other mechanics I don't want to spoil. And Rise of the Ronin has a lot of depth, and you'll need to mine it to win. I went through the classic stages of feeling most bosses were unfair and impossible, to feeling they were beatable if I played carefully and got a little lucky,
Now
to demolishing them.
from what I have seen, this is the best gameplay I've seen so far. Pretty good.
Or
I like it.
barely scraping by, once I learned their patterns. It's an exhilarating feeling, and it never gets old.
Ooh, shit.
And don't remind me that.
Ooh, she can get it.
Then
Yeah.
fight me instead.
Oh,
Another great idea
we gonna
is
fight.
the upgrade system, which
Shit.
rewards you for choosing how you want to play, both in and out of combat. Each of the primary stats comes with its own skill tree, and putting points into one also boosts the stats associated with it. If I level up my Speechcraft Liar ability in the Charm tree, I also get a stat increase in Charm, which makes my weapons that scale off of that stat better. Similarly, there are side quests that increase your character bond with the people you meet, rewarding you with additional conversations, upgrades to any styles associated with that character, and weapons, gear, and items. And then there's the Longhouse, your home away from home, where you can chat with your friends.
Oh, that Daishita there is one fine-looking lady.
What the hell was he Bro, what the hell was that guy looking at? Hold up. He wasn't even looking at that character. Look at that shit. Hold up.
That character,
Bro.
and weapons,
Hold
gear,
up.
and items. And then there's the Longhouse, your home away from home, where you can chat with your friends,
Look at that shit.
Daishita there is one fine-looking lady.
redo your character's
Damn.
appearance,
What a
respect your
delay.
skill points, decorate, and a lot more.
I can't believe it.
Later on, you'll also get the ability to go back in time via a book called The Testament of Souls.
Okay.
And redo missions from earlier in the story, make new choices
Nah,
that
I
can
like
hold you in
that.
the present,
I like
and
that
finish up
option.
any stuff on the map you may have missed. It's
I
genuine.
usually appreciate those options, like, because unlike, like, Spider-Man, like, those games, you can't go back and repeat those campaign missions. Like, I wish you could. Like, those games are so sick.
One of the best systems I've ever seen in a game like this, because you can advance the story, which takes place over several years and across several different maps, without worrying that you've missed something by crossing a point of no
And
return.
Shogun TV
It's
show,
also
I
cool
recommend
that you can
watching
see
it,
what
for
happens
sure.
if you let a certain character live, or side with a different faction without a whole new playthrough. I just wish everything else worked as well as these systems do. The entire package feels as overstuffed as the Loot Pinata enemies, who are always dropping mostly useless gear. If you're not constantly in your menus getting rid of it, you're likely to end up holding several hundred weapons, armor pieces, and items by the end of a few missions.
Yeah, that's
Team
pretty
Ninja
wild.
tries to alleviate this by letting you upgrade items you like and disassembling ones you don't for parts.
Oh, you get like
It doesn't
ignorant
work
and shit?
well enough to hold back the avalanche of largely pointless stuff that is constantly getting thrown at you. Even the side activities are poisoned by the loot overdose. To be very clear, I love finding cats because you get a cute little scene with them and interacting with the pilgrim
Ooh,
dogs.
Akitas. Those are Akitas. I think, at least I think, yeah.
I like the photography missions, getting skill points for finding shrines, the shooting gallery minigame, visiting real-life landmarks.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, I probably won't be using guns like that, if I'm being honest. I'll be all sword,
it's not
all
that
katana.
any of these things are bad per se, but when the reward is even more loot or filling up another reputation meter, I just wasn't interested after a while.
Please accept this as a token of my gratitude.
To be fair, these tasks are mostly optional unless you need to grind levels, but they all seem tedious next to using your grappling hook to scale a rooftop and a...
Man, to be fair, if it was like a type of game that didn't give you any loot, this guy would be complaining, like, for sure. But hey, it's okay. It's all good. I guess more than less, right?
assassinate
Fuck it.
somebody, or scaling a tower with your buddies and whooshing into a walled prison on your glider.
Look at me! I flew like a bird!
Rise of the Ronin marries a cool
They're
historical
probably gonna give it an
setting,
8.5 or an
mastery
8.
of tough
Watch.
but fair combat, and some smart RPG design to make a game that is immediately compelling and fun with friends. It's full of cool little touches, whether it's throwing something at an enemy with your grappling rope or dropping from your glider onto your horse. Unfortunately, it's also a game full of map clutter, bloated systems, and a truly absurd amount of junk loot. Rise of the Ronin is excellent when it has the courage to be itself and lean into the challenging, rewarding fighting. Too often, however, it feels stuck in indecision, torn between being what it wants to be and what it feels it's expected to be. And not even the best samurai can overcome that.
Okay.
For more, check out our reviews of Dragon's Dogma 2 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
Well, that was pretty dope. I enjoyed what I saw. I enjoyed every moment of what I saw. But like I said, I probably won't be using guns in this game. I'll be all katana and be in the way of the samurai. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video. All right, we're definitely getting this game. It comes out tomorrow, so I hope you guys, pick it up too and enjoy it. Tell me how you guys like it and whatnot, because I'll tell you guys how I liked it. All right, peace out. Yeah.